I struggle to remember a lot of my childhood. The remaining memories are patchy, and I struggle to attach emotions to them. Guess that's a byproduct of being numb for so long. I lived with my grandparents for the first year of my life in a little town called Kings Lynn. When I was 1, Mum got her own place about 10 miles away from my grandparents. I was an only child up until the age of 9. Mum joked that having me put her off having any more kids ever again. Grandad was my favourite person in the world, closely followed by Nan. Grandad spent a lot of time with me. We would sit on the wall outside the house, counting cars and guessing their makes and models. We would go for hikes in the woods or adventures through the sands of an old quarry turned national park. Grandad was an avid train enthusiast, and he had a massive electric railway in the garage we would often play with. Some of the fondest memories of my life are of spending time with him, walking through the woods, going into town, and playing with the trains. For a 70-year-old man, Grandad was extremely fit. He would keep up with me all day long. Nan didn't spend a whole lot of time with me. She was busy selling antiques most of the time. She showered me with gifts and bought me anything I wanted, regardless of my behaviour. Mum tried to discipline me in her own way, but when Mum said no, Nan would say yes, and my mum was too dependent on my grandparents to push back. My Nan loved me, but she interfered too much in my life. It made me lose all respect for my mum and pretty much anyone, and turned me into a spoiled brat. Around the age of 5 is where things started going downhill. My mother had very bad taste in men, and one of the first boyfriends I can remember was no exception. He was a violent lowlife who enjoyed hurting me. He would throw apples or other objects at me. He would restrain me for no reason and intentionally hurt me because it was funny. I was only 5 years old at this point and couldn't do anything back. When I tried, he would hurt me even more. When you've had it easy your entire life and had everything handed to you on a silver platter, you turn soft. You're not able to deal with things as well as someone who was born into struggle. At just 5 years old, my life turned from heaven to hell pretty fast, and this was just the beginning. My life went from getting whatever I wanted and having no consequences for my actions to being physically, emotionally, and verbally abused on a regular basis. It was not all bad. My grandparents were still very active in my life, and I loved them more than anything. Grandad was especially involved and was the only person I could talk to and trust. He was a kind and wise man, the best man I've ever known. Despite having loving grandparents and a mother who did her best with the darkening circumstances, I went into decline. My mother had been sheltered her whole life, and she felt like she had had no freedom until she was of age. She didn't want that for her children, so she interfered in my life as little as possible and pretty much left me to my own devices. Couple this with the fact that Nan bought me everything I wanted, and I turned into a spoiled brat who didn't respect anyone or anything. Combine that with being beaten and verbally abused by the father figures in my life, and I was set to turn into a very nasty person. The year the original PlayStation came out, I destroyed 3 of them. I smashed them, stamped on them, and threw them at the wall. Each time, my Nan bought me another the next day. It made me not respect or value anything. If I wanted something, I would do everything in my power to get it by any means necessary. I was turning into a nasty, spoiled brat with no boundaries and no respect for anyone. I didn't appreciate anything. I had no morals, no respect, and no mercy. The anger I felt toward the male role models in my life caused me to frequently explode on everyone around me. I hit other kids for very small reasons, and everyone moved out of the way for me in the school hallways. I once stabbed a kid in the back with a pen simply because he didn't agree with me. On the very first day of school, the teacher put her hand in front of me and I bit her.